In this video, we are looking at dividing decimal numbers by whole single-digit numbers. To do this, we're first going to look at what we remember. Before we look at dividing decimal numbers, we're going to look at a three-digit whole number divided by a single-digit whole number. In this case, it's 159 divided by 4. So I would rewrite this like this. And the strategy that we're going to use is that same multiplying up strategy that we practiced prior to this. So I'm going to look at the number 159 and think about how many 4s I can fit into that 159. And I can think about, if I take 4 quarters, it's going to give me 100. So that tells me that if I say 4 times 25, then I can get rid of 100 of that 159, and I'm left with 59. Now I'm going to think about the next simplest number that I can multiply by 4 in order to get rid of more of that big number. And I'm going to use 4 groups of 10 for this. And that gives me 40, so I subtract 40 and I'm left with 19. And if I multiply 4 and 4, 4 times 4, that gives me 16, and I'm left with 3. And then I look at all of the numbers that I used to group my 4s, and that's 25 plus 10 plus 4, which is 39, with a remainder of 3. So 159 divided by 4 is equal to 39 with a remainder of 3. When we start dividing decimal numbers by whole single-digit numbers, we can use the same strategy that we just used. We can multiply our divisor up until we build our dividend. So let's look at another question. This question is 5 8/100 divided by 4. So we are going to multiply our divisor, our 4, multiply 4 over and over again until we can build our dividend, or 5.08. All right. 4 times 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Notice I'm putting the decimal in so that I keep track of what place value each digit is. So I'm saying 4 groups of 1, and that automatically takes away 4 from my 5 8/8. And I'm left with 1 8/8. So now I'm going to look at that. I'm going to look at the 8 next, because I know that if I double 4, then I would get 8, but I'm looking at 8/100. So if I were to multiply 4 by 2/100, then I would get 8/100. And I'm left with 1 whole. And I'm going to look at quarters again and say 4 times 25 cents is going to give me $1. So 4 times 25 cents will give me $1. And once again, I look at all of those numbers that I used to multiply by 4 as I was building my dividend. And I add them all together, and I get 1 27/100. This is the same strategy that we used before. Let's do one more together, and then you're going to try this on your own. This time, our question is 6 39/100 divided by 3. Now you might look at that and think, oh, I don't need to use long division to solve this problem, but we're going to do it anyway. I'm going to rewrite this in this way. There we go. Now right off the bat, I can see that if I multiply 3 by 2, I'll get 6. So I can get rid of my 6 right away. I'm going to use red on the side now. 3 groups of 2, and I can get rid of my 6. And now I'm left with 39 hundredths. Now I can get rid of that 3 that's in the tenths position by saying 3 groups of 1/10, and that gives me 3/10. And I'm left with 9 hundredths. Since 3 times 3 is 9, that means that 3 times 3 hundredths is 9 hundredths. And then my last step is to add up all the numbers that I multiplied by the divisor. All the numbers that I multiplied by 3 are added up in order to find my quotient. So that's 2 plus 1/10 plus 3 hundredths, and that gives me 2 and 13 hundredths. So that 6 and 39 hundredths divided by 3 is equal to 2 and 13 hundredths. Now I'd like you to try the questions that I have available for you on Google Classroom. You may find that the first 2 of these questions are quite familiar.